Give it up for Ragini Kapil.
Pretty good for a 75-year-old biker chick. Okay. Actually, I am your typical Canadian, and I know that I'm typically Canadian because I say sorry, eh? And I spell neighbor our way. And every Canada Day, I go shopping in the States. But my mom's a different story because she's a tiny little immigrant woman with a bun and a sari and a slap that's faster than a deli cab. When I was little, we lived in a nuclear family. We didn't have relatives. And I grew up and I married into an Indian family. And I learned a lot of things. I learned how to roll a perfectly round roti. And I learned how to speak Hindi. And I learned that nothing I ever did would ever be good enough. But when we were growing up, lots of people didn't have divorces. But we started hearing about this blended family type of idea. And we learned it from our role models. Like when I was little, to date myself, the role models we watched were the Brady Bunch. And my kids, they benefited from watching the healthy relationships on Full House. I was a little disturbed, though, thinking about today's children, because the blended family they watched is on Game of Thrones. I hate to admit it, but school was not a good place for me. I hated it. I felt like I didn't fit in. Kids were bullies. Teachers picked on me. And I always ended up in the office. I still hear in the morning those voices in my head. Get up and go to school. Now, get up, Mom, you're the principal. I did okay at university, although it did take some time to find out what my major would be. People said, try everything. I'm like, okay. Tried some English, tried some psychology, tried some drugs. I actually had a lot of fun as a kid. My friend and I both played the clarinet. We were that cool. We went to band camp. We learned a lot of things at band camp. We learned tonguing, fingering, and how important it is for people to ask for my permission to put their mouth on my instrument. So I have something called post-concussion syndrome. I'm getting a lot better now, but I forget to remember things. And I sometimes repeat myself. And I forget to remember things. Actually, I forgot to tell you I'm Italian. No, okay, maybe I'm not Italian, but I feel like I'm Italian because I make my own homemade pasta. And I love being surrounded by a big family. And sometimes, just sometimes, I want to put a hit out on my enemies. I also have a very bad habit. They say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. In my case, I don't think so, because I don't even realize when I'm doing it, but sometimes I copy people's accents. It's okay, sometimes not, because if it's British, fine. If it's Southern, no problem. But when it's lisp, So, obviously, I know what it's like to have a name that's hard to pronounce. I understand that. And I have a lot of empathy for people that have difficult names. But the person I feel most sorry for, Richard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know why. Yeah, he goes to England. They're like, what's your name? Richard. Ah, Richard. Pleased to meet you. He goes to France. Richard, enchanté. Goes to Italy, he's Riccardo. No wonder he ends up being a dick. So, I've worked with kids for a long time, and I like to keep up with the vernacular. I mean, I can piece out with the best of them. These days, I am scared to open my mouth because I don't get this new innuendo. It's like everything I say is wrong, and my grown-up kids go, Mom, don't say that. Don't look it up. Please don't Google it. And I'm like, I asked your dad for my pearl necklace. I ordered a tossed salad. I just want a couple of tea bags. What? You know what? I give up. I'm just not going to talk. I'm going to go home, watch Netflix, and chill.